I said, what? I said, Mo, did you get a +1? You were like, yeah, brother, obviously. Everyone got a +1. I was like, bro, they told me just to come by myself, man. It happens, bro. This is just the other day, mate. I was looking at your mumsy looking so lovely. I was like, what, you don't think my mum would have liked to be here as well?
I feel like every time I see you, it's 9 times out of 10, it's at an event somewhere.
Yeah.
It's very much passing.
It means
through.
we're doing well.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
But it's always at a passing event somewhere. So like to sit you down and have you on the pod is a massive pleasure.
100%. And even I'll just jump in and say, even from your first ever show that you did, because remember I came to that.
Yeah. You came to that, bro.
Came to see it. Like,
you turned up in a Maybach.
Well, we still have to be tiny, innit? Like, we still have to do things in a tiny way.
Me and Javan was looking through this small window. It's like, who's got a Maybach?
There you go. But now Mo's pushing all the big whips, bro. He's got all the big whips. But yeah, like even coming to the first show to see everything you're doing now, like you said, us having the conversations about LA, bumping into each other at like Wimbledon.
Yeah, because I see you in LA at Damson's house that time.
You in LA, in Damson Idris of all people.
Yeah, man.
Damson Idris's house to Wimbledon, like it's amazing, bro. And like considering we're both from Southeast London,
yeah, man.
If we were at school and we were thinking about what our futures would become, I couldn't have even imagined this. So it's a beautiful thing, bro. And congrats on all the Netflix specials.
Thank you, brother, man.
Do you get what I mean?
But this is about you today, man. I was thinking on the way here when I was driving here of like the impact you've had, I think, on UK culture and especially UK black culture. And also, like, I have to also say, like, black young men. Like, I think your impact doesn't really get talked enough on that when it comes to, obviously there is the artistry of what you've done, but also I think from an outsider kind of looking in, it's also like I would also notice like on your rise, the way you would carry yourself and like how you was very, very stylish and
thank you, brother.
Like you've done a lot of moves that no one had. I'd never really seen before in that magnitude. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you, bro.
And so in your book. Yeah, you grew up in Peckham.
Grew up in Peckham, yeah.
That doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think.
Do you know what? A lot of things don't get talked about, and before it kind of used to irk me because it almost made me feel at the time, obviously I'm way more mature now, I'm way more rational, but at the time, I used to be like, I'm from the same place that everyone else has come from, essentially. Why does my thing seem like it's different? Yeah. But I've really come to like terms with it, and I think sometimes when you are a trailblazer or an outlier, they'll talk about things eventually. Do you get what I mean? Or I've told myself, people can say whatever they want to say, but you just continue to set the bar, raise the levels, and eventually, it will make sense to people, because sometimes what you're trying to do is so forward thinking that a lot of people won't even conceptualize it. Like fashion, like you said, now is very normal for any artist that's come from that world specifically. It's normal for you to see them at Fashion Week or to see them front row of a runway show. Whereas, like you said, initially when we first started blazing that trail, that really wasn't a common thing, and I would even go as far as to say there was like negative connotations around it. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you wearing that mad outfit or this mad suit from this Italian designer? Like, they don't rate us. Why are you wearing this tracksuit or this and that and that? So I think I'm proud of everything I've done, and I think once you have family, like once you have children, it contextualizes everything that you are and everything you're trying to do. And ultimately, I'm just trying to leave a good legacy. I'm just trying to make people happy, whether it's through music, whether it's through all of the other things that I'm involved in. And I just want my kids to grow up and see that their dad was a G. That's all that matters to me. Everything else is by the by, bro. People will love you today, hate you tomorrow, love you again in a few years. It is what it is, bro.
What was life like in early Peckham for you? Because I know you was there from quite young.
I was there till about 11. 12, yeah.
What was early life for you like? Because I remember Peckham when I was young. And it's not the Peckham of now, where it's fussy buildings.
Far from. And there was no Frank's Cafe when I was growing up. Trust me, bro.
So how did that kind of shape your childhood? Because it's got mashes. Everyone knows that Peckham has a massive Nigerian community there as well.
So obviously, growing up in Peckham at the time, a very big Nigerian community. So it was just like, I remember as a kid, your norm is your norm. So it was just very normal. Okay, I live in London. That's good enough. Do you get what I mean? That's good enough. I'm in Peckham. We're not that far from the city. Do you get what I mean? So everything about Peckham was great. I remember from about 8 or 9, like, because I'm the eldest sibling, my parents entrusted me to take my siblings to school. So we'd come out of where we lived, which was Carisbrooke Gardens, and then we would walk like through Sumner Road, and then basically cross over, end up in Burden Bush Road, and then I would take me and my siblings. My dad would take us to a certain point, and then we'd all have to hold hands, and then we'd cross the road, and he'd just kind of like wave. But I remember from like 8 or 9 taking my siblings to school, and like everything was kind of just normal. Weekends it would be like Nigerian parties, because obviously we were kids, so following the parents, seeing bare money getting sprayed. I'm saying, where's everyone getting all these dollars from? Like, we're in the UK. What is this? It doesn't even make sense. But so a lot of that. Then obviously had a great community of friends. Seeing them on the weekend, just like any normal kid would, knocking for your brethrens, all that sort of stuff. I think because I left Peckham around 11 or 12, I narrowly missed all of the nonsense that sometimes comes with being a young black boy. Yeah, of course. In a sort of environment like that at the time. Do you get what I mean? So slightly navigated that, and I think that was actually one of the reasons why my parents wanted us to move. So by the time I got to 11 or 12, one of my next door neighbours, literally in our masonette where we lived number 46, the person that lived in number 45, I remember he went downstairs to the bins. You know when you live in the flats, you've got like the communal bins, it comes down to the chute. And he went to link a girl, but it was a setup thing. I don't know. At the time, I think it was even a trend. Like, there was setup chicks and all that. So she set up this guy. I never really used to talk to him because he was older, but obviously I'd see him every single day. And then before you know it, he's just dead, like stabbed. Like, went to link the girl by the bins, got stabbed up. That's the end. So my mum, at the time, in a Nigerian accent was like, hey, we need to move on. No, I've got 2 sons. We need to move. We need to get out of here. It felt like a lifetime away, but we ended up moving maybe like 40 minutes down the road to Woolwich. Like, it's changed now. It's very Nigerian now as well. I think everyone got the memo. But like, at the time, it was very like white working class, people who I'd assumed lived more in the city maybe when they were younger and had moved out. So that was, if anything, more of like a culture shock to me, but I guess as I've been reflecting on my life over the last couple of years, would sort of explain who I am and how I am as a person. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because I think with growing up in Peckham, it's the vibrancy of, you go Peckham High Street.
Yeah, even that was a big memory for me,
Yeah, even now where it's like, it really reminds me of, if you've ever been to like, when you go to like some places in New York where it's just a bustling environment, but there's a lot of community there. Do you know what I mean?
That's definitely a bit I missed out. I do remember my mum going onto Peckham High Street or like Rye Lane or whatever, and then all the people from the meat shops to where she's getting all the vegetables to wherever, she knows them by name, they know her. There's always a little bit of back and forth on the price. Do you get what I mean? Someone's calling her auntie. All of that was beautiful. Once we got to Peckham, that was Plumstead, that was kind of lost.
So how was Plumstead for you? Because I just remember whenever I'd go, even as far as going Sydenham, my uncle lived in Sydenham.
Yeah.
And we went there for a wedding. And once you go past like Forest Hill and the trees and there's more hills.
Yeah.
Like, how did that start to kind of shape your perception? Because I feel like, especially when you go Plumstead, I just feel like there's just so much more greenery there.
Yeah.
And it makes you generally feel like you are out of London.
So that's the thing. So initially I felt like I was out of London. I was definitely like upset with my parents. Because I was like, damn, like all my friends. That's why I ended up going back to SFX. So I did secondary school in Plumstead. So again, it was a lot more, how can I say, it was a lot more white, a lot more English, but there was still the odd like St. Lucian boy, odd Nigerian, odd Ghanaian. So I remember naturally at first there was a bit of friction, like, who's this new you? Like, what's all this? But then after a while, I remember kind of just aligning myself naturally just with that group of guys. But for me, actually, like reflecting on it, I think it was good because it helped me to understand like where I was. Do you get what I mean? And the fact that this was England. Do you get what I mean? So obviously in Peckham, I had 1 or 2 white friends, but now all of a sudden I had 22 white friends, and I'm going to their house. They're coming to my house. What's that meat in the freezer? Why is there bare blood in the freezer? What's that smell? What's that? All this stuff that I never used to experience before, I'm experiencing it now. And then obviously, as a young person, you assimilate, innit? Wherever you are, you start assimilating. Okay, they like this, they're wearing that, they're into this. I remember being in year 6 and the teacher was asking bare questions, and I was just getting all the questions right. And I remember everyone was looking at me, and so I thought, damn, like, is this not a good school? Like, because no one else is answering the questions. I'm answering all the questions. And then slowly but surely I started to, when I say assimilate, even kind of maybe dumb myself down a little bit just to fit in. Then fast forward, secondary school, year 7, year 8, again, still around this big mix of different people that I hadn't really been around. And then that's when I discovered pirate radio. So that's when one of my friends at the time, Sean Hobbs, I think he was white, but like mixed with something.
Yeah.
So that was good. I was like, yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So then he was like, oh, bro, have you heard of Nasty Crew? Have you heard of this? Have you heard of that? I was like, oh, where I used to live, we couldn't really pick up the stations and this and that and that and that. So he started bringing me in tapes, and that's when I started hearing, I knew So Solid, and I knew a couple of other crews, like the South London crews, but that's when I really started listening to like Roll Deep, Nasty Crew, Rough Squad.
Because tapes back then was like,
brother,
it was like gold dust,
brother,
man.
And when I was now in this more leafy environment, like you said, we'd moved from like a flat to a house. Everything felt like it was going well. Obviously, my parents had fully extended themselves to make that move, and I think it was primarily for our well-being. So to kind of take me away from that, like listening to all these tapes, it kind of just, one, took me back to where I felt like I belonged.
Yeah, sure.
And then it just exposed me to this new world of music that I wanted to get involved in.
Because early on in your career, when it comes to music, you was part of New Brand Flex as well.
I was part of New Brand Flex. I was part of Aftershock as well.
But like New Brand Flex was so iconic. Just like, if you've never, like anyone listening, like just Google New Brand Flex.
I
think just as an image of like young black boys that felt like, you know, the way that they dressed, the way that they looked, the way that they sounded.
Yeah.
Where at a time I felt like we were really like locked in on this kind of like hood environment of music. Do you know what I mean? We've just come from like where, you know, we've kind of left garage, we've kind of in that grime. Now we're in that kind of grimish Channel U phase where it's the kind of DIY generation in a sense of like, do you know what I mean? You put on your snapback, you've got a baggy pair of Nike. I remember I went through that phase where I was wearing tracksuit bottoms and then the jeans over it.
Mental.
Do you remember that phase?
Mental, yeah. Just the tracksuit bottoms poking out of the top like this, saggy jeans.
Yeah, man. I was wearing extra large, and even the brands, you know what I mean, wearing like academics.
Yeah.
Because I think we were still trying to find ourselves, because we were still locked into what was happening in America in terms of, I feel like, fashion-wise.
Yeah.
But we still had this UK part of us that would wear these big baggy trousers with Air Max 90s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. But then also you have to remember, like, a lot of the New Brand Flex guys are like from a similar area to where I was from. So that's the bit I missed out. Once, obviously, I heard the tapes and then I started MCing, then now I'm in the area looking for MCs. To MC with. So obviously youth clubs, etc. Then there was a little pirate radio station, but nothing as significant as like a Rinse or Deja Vu. But that's when I then bumped into the Saskillers, the Little P's, the Boyardees.
Yeah.
And if initially there was no New Brand Flex, how New Brand Flex was formed at the time, all of the biggest MCs apart from So Solid were coming from East London.
Yeah. East London had a stronghold on
Kano, Wiley, Dizzy, Tinchy, like the league, the league was all in East London. And then I remember just thinking logically, like, we need to be in East London. Like, we need to almost like base ourselves from East London. So in Woolwich, there's a little tunnel that goes through, like, basically goes under the water, and once you come out of it, you're in E16, you're in Silvertown. So we just used to tell people that we were from Silvertown, because technically it was very close. And then one day there was a DJ called Richie Montana. I'm still very close with him now. We still work together. We've been working together for 15 years. And he put an advert out on a pirate radio station saying, we're a DJ collective, New Brand Flex. We're looking for MCs. cool, submit like your music.
Wow.
So then I remember Saskila being like, this is the opportunity. We've been saying we're from East London for the longest. This is the time to finally consolidate that. So we all went down. I think they liked us. So before you know it, now New Brand Flex is formed. And then going back to what you were saying about Channel U and all of that stuff, you have to remember in our area, there was still a lot of white working class boys. So even though we had the influence of America and all of the stuff that they were wearing, and then our own black British identity, we were also leaning into the white working class British identity, which is huge.
Yeah, man.
That's mass England. So these boys were wearing like Lylan Scott tops and Henry Lloyd. Very like football kind of like hooligan sort of, but smart football hooligan. So I remember like my fashion at the time was almost like a melting pot of all of those three things. And maybe that's why when you saw New Brand Flex, you were like, rah, these guys look different. Also, another thing to add is that as I've kind of started to understand life more, I've realized that the journey of the black person, especially of an African black person, is really a phenomenal thing. It's something that there needs to be 20 documentaries made on it, because you still have people that are emigrating over from Africa now. Yeah. Even Ireland at the moment has a huge Nigerian population. Massive. And what I've started to realize is you get in how you can get in. You come through how you can come through. If you're lucky to find yourself in London, that's amazing. And looking back at Peckham, I don't know what your reality was like, but for me, it was lots of Africans who were living in council housing. And then by the time I'd got to Woolwich and Plumstead, so Sass and Boy, I hope I'm not speaking for all of them, but we were like the black boys who our parents had then taken us 1 degree away from that, if that makes sense. So we'd kind of upgraded from the council housing into our own property. So we maybe had a back garden. We maybe lived on a street where it was like terrace houses, etc., etc. So then everyone's still struggling. You're still 1 degree away from like where you started. You've still got cousins that are like in the ends and this and that, but you're seeing a sort of different world. Do you get what I mean? Because now you're hearing your white mate saying, oh yeah, me and the family were going Tenerife you know, for the summer holiday. You're like, Tenerife? Like what? So yeah, it definitely made us a little bit not different, but we were let's just say different. It definitely made us a little bit different, and that's probably why when you saw Wifey Riddim video, or why when you saw Gash by the Hour, we came across the way that we did. And then also Channel U, that was just an incredible time, because obviously we'd gone from pirate radio.
It was the only place as well that felt like it would accept people in, because MTV Base back then was, it felt like that's where you wanted to get your music on. But it was like, you know, it had to look a certain way, it had to be a certain way. And I always felt like we were always competing with Americans
on base. You like, our video would always be the slightly cheaper looking video that would get rotated maybe once or twice when 50 Cent's being played 25 times in a day. Do you get what I mean? But
beats, rhymes and life.
Exactly. That's it. And big up Trevor Nelson for his thing on there as well. But so basically by the time we got to Channel U, like you said, low barrier to entry. All you had to do is pay like a couple £100, shoot your video for however much, and then all of a sudden you're going from pirate radio station where no one knew what anyone looked like. Like the first time I heard Dizzy, Wiley, Tinchy, Kano, I didn't have a clue what they looked like. This was an opportunity now to present yourself fully, artistically, creatively. And so it changed the game.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, what's up? Listen, if you're enjoying this, if you could give me a little like just there, that would be perfect. But if you could also subscribe, that would be amazing. We get a lot more people watching this that aren't subscribed, and that's okay. But to keep the podcast coming, and for the team behind the scenes, your subscriptions really do matter. Keep the suggestions coming, and thank you for watching this episode. Wifey Riddim, when you made that, this was also at a time where I feel like if I go back to even where I was at that time, we're talking MSN, Bebo, MySpace. They were the social media platforms. People were sharing music on their phones, Sony Ericssons, and you'd share a song with like this is early Bluetooth as well. Do you know what I mean? Or if you had a really old phone, it might be infrared as well.
Come on. We got the infrared gang.
It was really, I think, the start of the back of the bus generation when it came to phones, because there's always been a generation that, you know, the cool kids, we was on it, but like it became a part of, like, when I think of growing up, it was like, yeah, like after school, it's on the back of the bus with my friends.
Chicken and chips music.
Scratching on the windows.
Yeah, with that little thing. Yeah,
but I feel like you shaped a huge generation in that with Wifey Riddim, because it was at a time where the music was hard. Do you know what I mean? Very hard, yeah. Like it was like, man, don't come to my dad. Yeah. And then like to hear someone talk about, I really like this girl. It was because like I think at the time, and we're like similar age as well. Yeah. So it felt like, this.
Yeah, is that what he's saying? Yeah.
Man might get her a flower, innit? I don't want to. But you made it cool to like, because there was the phrase sweet boy at the time.
Yeah, of course.
But you made it cool to be a sweet boy.
Nah, thank you, bro.
Do you know what I mean?
Thank you, brother.
When it comes to getting the borders in the hair and stuff.
Yeah, going for it, man. Why not?
Yeah, like it felt like, yeah, bruv, like, man, I'm going to take this girl Nando's, bruv.
Yeah,
like,
why not? Of course.
When there was only Nando's in Camberwell.
At the time, that one was banging at the top of the hill, yeah.
That was the Nando's, man. So, like, because I know when you made Wifey Riddim, you said that cost you £800 or something.
£800, yeah. Wow,
did
man's
you know
done
that,
his research, amazing.
But did you know that song would be what it was at the time? Because I felt like, I don't know, like at that time when everything was so hard and it was bang man in the jaw.
Like, I'll smash your brain. Yeah.
Did it ever feel like that was what's the word I'm looking for? Did it ever feel like that was a risk?
Good question. So at the time, remember, I was putting out loads of rhythms, and this is even my approach to like making music now. I've stepped back into the arena of making music, and this is my approach now. It's exactly the same as it was then. I was making loads of rhythms already. I was in New Brand Flex, like you said, so we were doing sets. I was in Aftershock, we were doing sets. I was making loads of rhythms with Terra Danger, rest in peace.
And Aftershock was
booming. Big up Bruiser.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. So I remember I was getting loads of beats sent in via MSN. So all my contact list, I had bare producers on there. And then Flukes sent me the Wifey Riddim beat. And you have to remember, at the time, in the UK, the music was very hard. And then in America, the music was very hard. But there was also this fraction of like the Fabulouses and guys like that who would make the song with Tamia, I'm So Into You, Riddim. Do you get what I mean? Or Fat Joe, What's Love? Or... So I was listening to all of that, and then to contextualize it further, I'm the eldest, and then I've got two younger sisters and then a younger brother. And my two younger sisters at the time, all I'm hearing in my house is R&B, like R&B or pop, straight pop. So again, all of that definitely must have influenced me, and music is a feeling, right? So I remember when I heard the Wifey instrumental, I was just like, I remember I was sitting in my mum and dad's house, and I was in the room where the computer was, just on my MSN. As soon as I downloaded that beat, I was like, this is amazing. I played it like 50 times. And then after I was like, damn, okay, what am I going to talk about? Then again, being inspired by all these fabulous type records, I was like, I think I could do something nice on this one. Did it feel like a risk? Nah, people were already calling me a sweet boy anyway.
Okay.
So in that environment, that very like sort of grime sort of, I'm going to tell you about all the stuff I've done in my life and why I'm the baddest guy on the road. In that whole sphere, I would definitely say, especially within my batch, people would have said, okay, that's the sweet boy. Do you get what I mean? So imagine if it was like a boy band, because a crew is not really that different to a boy band, other than the fact that the boy band is more often than not manufactured. I was always, you know, the Gallus, the sweet boy, the this, the that, the that. So after a while, I just kind of leaned into it, bro. Like it was my truth. Like, like I'm not saying anything that, because I've always been one of those people like that will read into people's lyrics. Like, what's he saying? He don't do that. That's not real. So this was something that I could honestly talk about, and I felt like it was. I'm saying this in hindsight, but I felt like it was a very sophisticated and mature thing to do musically at the time, because like you said, most people weren't really doing it. And then like I always just, again, once I heard all the pirate radio artists and then I saw like all the music videos on Channel U, I was like, this is anyone's game now, literally anyone could put out a song and then they could become the biggest star tomorrow. So for example, Agro Santos, at one stage that I got a free yard, man.
Yeah, man.
That was everywhere. Mr. Wong, all these different kind of people. So I'm like, okay, if I just come correct on this, I could do something good. So had the song, and then remember, before I've even shot the video to the song, like you were saying, through MSN, through Bluetooth, it's already ringing off. So I already know in my area, okay, of all the songs I've made, this is the one that people like. So had the confidence, shot the video, and then the rest is history. I think it was like #1 on Channel U for like 10 weeks or something like that. Yeah. That's when I started doing my PAs. I was only 16 at the time. So I went from Sweet Boy to... this guy's a gallus. He's got all the girls in the ends, bro. It was ridiculous. So yeah. So then after that, 10 weeks at Channel #1 on Channel U, then I started gigging. So now I'm leaving London. I'm going to like Luton and Bury St Edmunds, all these kind of just outskirts of London towns, doing shows, under 18 raves, DJ Ironic at the time as well. And yeah, what a great time in life. It was amazing.
I feel like when it comes to music, you can see when someone's going to be a star because I think there's always, when you see someone kind of break out from what the norm is. Yeah. And I remember seeing you do a PA at, I don't even know if you remember this. This was in Peckham at, it's now Harris Academy. It used to be called Warwick Park.
Yeah, I remember that.
Seeing your reaction then, this is before Pass Out as well. Because there's that thing that we all have of like, when you're successful, you have that hood fame. Yeah. Which is before like the fame comes, if that makes sense. And I remember seeing you there, and I was like, "Oh, Robert, this guy's big, man."
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Right, like everyone was screaming, and
it was mad.
Like, how did that feel? Because it must be also, you know, the one thing with hood fame is there's the one thing of like where you're from, people are like, "Oh yeah, man, like what you saying, Tinie, bruv, love what you're doing," and that feels so sentimental to this day. You know, a man will stop you halfway through, you know, delivering for, I don't know. I always like the guys, the delivery drivers.
Yeah, the DPD guys. Yeah, big them up.
Hey, my brother, listen, love what you're doing.
Yeah,
bro.
respect
listen,
my guy.
Listen, I've been from day, bro. Yeah. I know. If you could just sign, take a picture.
Of course.
Like, but like, when you're young as well, how was that? Because I feel like that can also go to your head when you're young as well.
Yeah, if anything, I would say it was the opposite. Like, I think I'd worked so hard for this, and I was like, throughout my career, even like you said now, RT, you know, certain things people don't really acknowledge. That's been my career the whole time, bro. Trust me. So I've already been getting not berated, but like kind of like overlooked is probably the best word.
Yeah, do you think so?
Well, then, let me say then. So I've already been getting overlooked. Oh, yeah. You know, like the last person to pick on the football team. I was kind of like that guy. Yeah, we'll take him. Don't worry. Okay, I'm just standing there like this, yeah. So by the time Wifey comes, there's a few things that's going through my mind. One of them is definitely not to start inflating my ego. One of the first things is, brother, you've worked so hard for this, yeah? Like, you always believed it was going to happen, but no one else ever believed, yeah? Probably similar to you, like being a comedian.
Yeah, man.
Because again, you're stepping out and you're really putting yourself out there in a way. Like, there's lots of guys that make music. There's lots of guys that make that are funny. But how many guys actually have the confidence to put themselves through all the, nah, man, you're rubbish, or nah, that's not going to go nowhere. This is what I'd been hearing my whole career. So first thing was like, rah, you've actually done it. Like, you've proved yourself right and you've proved everyone wrong. The second thing was, if you can have this hood fame, imagine what else is out there. Like, you've been watching 50 Cent and Eminem and them, man. Like, there's more to do. Do you get what I'm saying? And I guess because I'm the eldest of my family, I've always wanted to set a good example for my younger siblings, and I've always wanted to, like, yeah, just be the best version I could be. And then maybe being from an African family that's working class, I've always felt there will come a time when I need to start supporting my parents to like help out the whole family. So if anything, I was just motivated. I was excited, and it was like a positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
And then I would say, if anything, in the actual ends, I was probably I still am to this day, you know, people say, but I was very, very humble, bro. Very like, even maybe too humble, like humble to a fault. I'd always be putting myself down. I'd always, nah, you're this. Nah, not me. Because one, I knew that at any stage I could just not make another hit, and then those same people saying whatever they're saying, be like, oh, that's that one hit wonder you. And you know, in our community, there's like, I didn't realize this until quite recently, but bro, even before myself, before Dizzy Rascal, before So Solid Crew, there's been black artists like. Again, like Conan's dad, for example, that have made records, and those records have gone into the UK charts, and then they've had success, they've toured, but it's like the history always kind of gets washed, so we don't acknowledge them. But I guess as I was at that stage, I started to realize that there's been bare people before me that have come and done this, maybe had 1 or 2 records, and now I'll just be in Harlesden at one barbecue, and then I'll just see Uncle just coming down the stairs. But he used to be a big star. So I was like, I need to take this as far as I can possibly take it. This is just the start of what I'm trying to do.
Do you also feel like, because you released your mixtape Hood Economics, that's around about 2007, right?
Yeah, 2007, yeah.
Do you also felt what helped you is that, because I've always felt like you had an underground buzz, but I just felt like at that time, because grime was really at its forefront, do you ever feel like sometimes, because you didn't have he's the one to watch, keep your eye on him, he's going to be the one. Do you think that sometimes helped you in a sense of it just let you crack on and just do music? In some ways,
it helped me to crack on and do music, and I think it always helped me to want to go harder, because I heard this saying as well: people are gonna say what they want to say, but just don't let it be so. Do you get what I mean? So they can say whatever they want to say about you, just don't let it be so. So when people are saying, oh, he's not the guy, or I'd rather this guy, again going back to that analogy of like the last person being picked for the football team, all it made me want to do was be a better player. All it made me want to do was score more goals to prove that I was worthy of the whole thing. And I would say the fact that I wasn't seen as the person, like the one to watch, has definitely attributed to the longevity of my career, because that mindset has kind of just stuck with me. Like, bro, like, you know what the mindset is out there. Like, you just got to keep going, brother. Like, even when Pass Out dropped, biggest song of the year. Nah, keep going. Next one. It needs to be undeniable. It needs to be like, when you see my stat sheet, you're just like, you're a hater, bro. Like, how? This guy is phenomenal. Do you get what I mean? So I would say, if anything, being overlooked at the time definitely just motivated me more, made me want to go harder, and it's definitely attributed to why I'm still here today.
And I know you do a lot of different type of shows that wasn't your norm of just pulling up to the grime event.
Yeah.
You were really like doing different types of events at different like festivals and stuff at a time where I think now it's different with social media, because now with social media you see it and then you can believe it.
Yeah.
You know, whereas back then we just didn't know of.
Yeah, it's like a different world.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what V Festival was.
Yeah, of course,
do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And I think when you think of a festival, even back then, I remember this of doing a festival of Latitude, which is like a comedy festival.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, I'm doing Latitude, but there's a big comedy tent, thousands of people in there. First time I'm doing it, I'm doing the small tent next to it. You might get 100 people.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Yeah.
But people, I think, you know, when you tell people, oh, wow, you're doing this thing, man. You're like, yeah. And then you get there and you're like, oh, okay. There's 20 people in this tent.
Yeah.
But you're like, well, cool. This is, you know, it gives you something to aspire to.
Yeah, something, bro.
To then want to do the tent next door, you know. So you've brought out your Hood Economics in 2007. You've got this underground buzz. And then you kind of link up with your cousin, Dumi.
Yes.
And I've heard you say like he's your older cousin, but he's almost like a big brother figure.
Yes.
I think he is to a lot of us, because there's times that I've been at events. I was at the GQ event for the first time when I went in like 2019.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes you go to these events and you're first starting out and they're like, yeah, sorry, you're getting one ticket.
Yeah.
And you're like, can I just bring someone?
Yeah,
man?
yeah,
Said,
come on, man.
They said one ticket, so I went by myself.
That's what happened to me. Remember when I saw you in the Palace? And you was with Mumsy. You were with Mumsy, brother. I was one up, looking crazy. I said, what? I said, Mo, did you get a +1? You were like, yeah, brother, obviously. Everyone got a +1. I was like, bro, they told me just to come by myself, man. It happens, bro. This is just the other day, mate.
I forgot.
Wow, I was looking at your mumsy looking so lovely. I was like, what, you don't think my mum would have liked to be here as well? It happens, bruv. It happens.
Oh, man. Is that your first time going to the palace? Nah, you been before, innit?
Yeah, and I had a plus one the last time.
Yeah. I was about to say, no way. Oh, man. Hold on, let me just reset.
Sorry, man.
That hit my chest, bro. Dumi's always been like, you know, for you, is your cousin, but he's your bigger brother.
Yeah.
He's someone that massively looks out for people.
Yeah.
And I know in terms of when you went through that phase of, you know, signing a record deal and stuff, he was very influential to that as well.
Yeah.
How important was it having someone alongside you? Because I feel like when it comes to anyone's success, there's always someone in the background
100%
who doesn't want the applaudits. And I feel like Dumi that's not Dumi. He's just like, yeah, like, he probably was like, yeah, man, like, do your thing, man. So how important was that for you early on in your career?
I'd say early on in my career, it was integral. Like, I feel being the eldest, I'd always looked for that bigger brother. Obviously, I always had to be the responsible one. I always had to be the one setting a good example. So when Dumi came into my life, like we met at like a big Nigerian party. So we're cousins, but essentially we're from the same Nigerian town. So when you're from the same town, it's a pretty small town as well, a place called Asaba. You're basically cousins. Do you get what I mean? So I met this guy. I think my mum introduced me to him. She was like, oh, you know, come and meet your older cousin Dumi. Like, I've told him you're doing music. He's seen Wifey, Riddim, rare. And so for me, it was just refreshing. It was like, how can I explain it? It was like, okay, wow, finally, I've got a big bro. He's on what I'm on. He believes in what I'm doing. And he's in a position where he could add a lot of value and he could help me. And so for the start of my career, even for the next couple of years after that, I would say it was integral because, again, when I dropped Pass Out, bro, my life changed entirely. My life went from, you know, how I was living to just stratospheric, like ridiculous. The next year I'm in America, I'm doing all the American runs, and it's pretty lonely. Do you get what I mean? And I feel like having someone that was around who, you know, has come from where I'm from, where we have all the same like sort of cultural practices and understandings. He can get on the phone and talk to my mom and reassure her. Bro, that was everything. And then also, you know, when, just like the analogy of when I saw you at the Palace, okay, I'm going to this GQ Awards, I've got my suit. No one else here is like me. There's all this actress from America, this person. I'm this one guy from Southeast London. Like, I need someone to be there with me so that we're witnessing this and experiencing this together. We're able to talk about how amazing it is, one, and laugh and joke about certain things as well. Because, you know, let's just be real. A lot of that stuff is amazing, but some of it is very superficial and it just is what it is.
Sometimes you're eating food like, what's this, man?
Exactly. I feel like it was so helpful to be around someone who was able to make light of the whole thing. Yeah. Like, we're just us and this is happening to us. And some of it is amazing. Some of it is quite strange, but this is just amazing. I feel like if I was by myself, it wouldn't have been the same.
You were really good at documenting your early career because you used to do your vlogs on YouTube. Where, you know, it'd just be simple things of you just buying trainers.
Bro, I've been a content creator, bro. Thank you. But I feel like I'm getting my flowers now. Because, bro, when I was content creating, who was content creating back then?
Yeah. Like, you just, like, you'd have your vlogs where you'd go and buy trainers and stuff. And you'd also, you kept those on YouTube for quite a long time.
Yeah, they're still on YouTube now. A lot of them, yeah.
And there's also a part of you where, you know, when it came to Pass Out, when that dropped, I felt like we knew your life had changed from us lot being again on the outside looking in, where you're seeing this track play. I feel like everyone who's listened to that track and knows the track, we all remember where we were, or whether there was a time where we've been out in a club, which also hit at such a pivotal time where, like, so many of us were either just finished going to uni and now we're going to our own little small kind of events.
Yeah.
That felt like they were really representing us. I'm talking ACS events as well. People putting on their own shows in East Central and stuff. And it felt like at a pivotal time which felt like, yeah, man, like, I feel like this guy is, I feel like it's like, yes, we felt like we knew you, but it was like seeing, you know, even small things of seeing you on like a Graham Norton. And, you know, I think the first time you was on there, you're speaking about your watch. You had like a gold Rolex.
Yeah, gold, yeah, Rolex.
And you was like, yeah, man, I just got this watch, man. And seeing you on the couch, and it was just like, bruh, man, this guy's really enjoying the success.
Yeah.
Like, really enjoying the fruits of his labor.
Yeah.
And it just felt like so aspirational because, I don't know, it was just like some of those small things those shiny things that we grew up always wanting, you know? Because didn't you have a Mercedes as well?
Yeah.
What was it? Was it a compressor?
I rapped about a CLC compressor, but I didn't actually have one. I had the first proper Mercedes I bought was an E350.
Yes.
Yeah. Coupe, yeah.
Yes, yeah. But it was just like nice for a lot of us seeing it, because seeing the success off the back of music and then seeing you in spaces that felt like, oh, raw, this guy's the same age as me, but also he's really enjoying the fruits of his labor. It just felt so inspiring. But also the way you was able to, like, Nike Blazers, that was you, bruv.
Thank you, brother.
Like wearing Nike Blazers, what, with the camo trousers and
Come
that.
on, my brother. Come
Listen,
on. Wow.
Like, you even had your own pair as well.
Yeah,
didn't it?
with Nike. Pick up Nike, man.
Yeah, man.
They flew us out to Portland to make our own pair. Incredible, bro.
How was those moments? Because you know, I know you talk about those musical moments, but like that, you know, and there are people that had their collaborations. I know Dizzy Rascal had a collab with Nike, with the Air Max 90s,
he did,
the tongue in cheek and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Centra's done one now.
Yes, yeah. But I feel like, you know, you was making young black boys from the ends wear Nike Blazers and leather jackets, bro.
Yeah.
A man that said, I'm going top, man. I'm buying that leather jacket, bruv. Like, I feel like there's a lot of accolades you have from your music, but in terms of the way you started shaping a generation.
Yeah, culturally, yeah.
In that time, how much do you feel like you really remember? Because, you know, you're going out to Nike and, you know, you're doing things that we had seen before, but also like, we're like, oh, wow, I've never...
Yeah, for a British, like, black Southeast London boy to be doing.
Yeah.
100%. So there was a couple things going through my mind. I think when you used to see, when you would see me on like a Graham Norton or whatever, and big up Graham Norton, thank you for all the support, bro. Like, people have to remember that, like, because I'm not speaking for everyone, but in my opinion, we hadn't really had a representative from our world on that platform with the likes of, I don't know what big actor would have been on the seat at the time, Judi Dench or this person or that person or that person. And so there was always a pressure. Because again, coming from like a Nigerian family, my whole thing was like, you're not going to reinforce any negative stereotypes. Remember, I'm coming from a Nigerian family and I'm also the eldest. So even though I went to a very regular school, I've had no, you know what they call it, what, acting training or training or elocution lessons. I've never had anything like that. As Nigerians, especially Igbo people, like, we've always been proud people and we've always been people that will carry ourselves in the highest way. So I think when I'm doing all these things, it looks like I'm enjoying myself, and to a certain degree I am, because there's a surrealism there that's like, wow, like, how did I get here? I'm on the couch, the lights are on, there's an audience, mum's in the crowd, I got a +1 for that. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is crazy, but then at the same time I'm like, if I put one foot wrong, I feel like I'm letting down a whole side.
Of course.
Do you get what I'm saying? So this is not just for me, this is for everyone, and this is also... And I don't want to get too deep, but also when I started entering those worlds, I realized that there was a very clear stereotype, and those stereotypes would be expressed, but in very sort of passive, underhanded ways. So, you know, oh my goodness, you talk amazingly. Do you get what I mean? Wow, look at the way you talk. Or like, wow, look at the way you dress, like look at the way you smell, like things like that, which I guess should just be common, like, and simple just for any human being. For me in particular, it was always like the person on the other end was surprised. Like I thought I was going to see you in a completely different way, but wow, I'm actually surprised. And that always used to irk me because again, being from Nigeria, bro, there's Nigerian billionaires, there's Nigerian ice cream men, there's Nigerian lawyers, Nigerian doctors, Nigerian school teachers. Everyone's Nigerian, innit? So Nigerian restaurant owners. So this whole idea of this, I guess like you said, maybe black British stereotype of someone who's come from the ends, which I have. Yeah.
And for the music you're doing as well.
Yeah, and for the music you're doing. Thank
like,
you. A rapper.
Yeah, of course.
It always used to irk me, and I was like, rah, why do some people perceive us in this way, or perceive me? I'm not speaking for everyone. Perceive me in this way. This is something I have to kind of tackle, but I'm not going to tackle it. I'm not going to tackle it in a kind of like, short-sighted way. And the way, you know, an analogy of that would be, you know, you get stopped by the police, for example, and then you just jump out of your car. You're in a nice car. You've paid for the car. You're well within your rights. You have your driving license, insurance. You haven't done anything wrong. And so you jump out of the car almost like accosting the police officer. Why are you stopping me for? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? Is it? We've all been there. Do you know what I mean? And we've all had the inclination and the feeling to want to do that. But in the environments I was in, I just felt like you got to tackle this another way. You got to tackle this by just being excellent. And remember at the time, maybe just after Jay-Z started throwing about that whole term, black excellence and this and that and that. And I really leaned into it. And I was like, you know what? Like, one of our guys, the guy that led the Biafra War, Ojukwu, from Nigeria, Igbo guy, he went to Oxford University. Like, his dad was a billionaire. This was in the 60s. Do you know what I mean? So our lineage, our root, where we're from, we're proud, successful, entrepreneurial people, do you get what I mean, who, you know, carry themselves in a way. So I just leaned into all of that. You're Igbo, bro. You're a king, bro. At the very end of at the end of the day, carry yourself in that way, and then also just try and blaze the trail for others. So as much as I was there, maybe having a good time, drinking a bit of rosé in the dressing room with everyone, in my mind, I was looking at them thinking, you are generations ahead of where I even am. Like, regardless of the money I'm getting now, I'm 1 degree away from poverty. I've got a cousin somewhere in wherever, Coventry, that needs my help. I've got family in Nigeria that need my help. I'm here sitting and laughing with you guys, but I've got stuff to do. You can't get that's generational. Like, I'm thinking 10 years ahead of where my kid comes and what my kid is going to do and what I'm going to be able to provide, the resources for them to flourish and thrive even beyond myself. So I just think it's important to mention that, like, because at the time, now it feels very normal. You know, you'll see Sench, or you'll see Dave, or you'll see Stormzy on all the platforms everywhere. Hot 97, this Graham Norton, Jonathan Ross. But at the time, I almost feel like if I didn't do, and I'm not saying this like literally, but if I'd let myself down and then almost quote unquote in my head let the side down, then a lot of these opportunities may not have been as readily available as they are now, because all it takes is like one person to spoil the fun for everybody else. And so I was that guy. Sometimes I would also describe it as this, like Jay-Z always used to refer to Kanye and say, oh, you know, Kanye is like the guy who, when there's a war, he will be the first person to run over the hill, do what he's doing, and he'll get a whole bunch of arrows thrown at him. But at least when he comes back, everyone knows what is waiting for them on the other side. I feel like I was almost that guy. Yeah,
man. So like when Pass Out drops, Davy's at number 1. Yeah. The track was huge.
Huge.
Did you know it was going to go number 1?
So when we released it, the funny thing is, I was signed to this label, and Pass Out was meant to be our specialist track. So I had other records that were more like dance leaning, but Pass Out was meant to be like the warm-up track. So I remember everyone in the label being like, you know what, we're going to seed this out to all the specialist DJs. Even if we don't get a result, you know, like everyone's giving you the typical label talk. We're going to sign you, but it's not about the hits. It's not about that. It was a similar conversation with Pass Out. So initially, as we released it, in my mind, I was like, this is a specialist track. It's not even going to go into the top 100. It's just to let people know man can rap and man's from that. Do you get what I mean? But I've done it in my own way. So then literally you find out whether it's going to be a number one, maybe like the midnight before. So it comes out on Sunday, you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then back then you're seeing it on iTunes. So iTunes is a sort of indicator. So you see it's climbing 10, whoop, 9, whoop, 8, whoop, 7. So then I remember at the time, the song that we were against was Rihanna, Rude Boy.
Oh,
yeah. So Rihanna is number one. Yeah. Or she's trying to get to number one as well.
That's a track as well, man.
Brother. So in my head, I'm thinking, Riri, bad girl Riri, there's no way, it's impossible. But I remember going on the Sunday chart show, Reggie Yates was hosting it at the time.
That was on Radio 1 as
Radio
well, right?
1,
yeah.
And I remember the midnight before having the inclination, but then also, again, now everything's different. You're basically your own record label. You can see everything that's going on. You're getting all the data as it comes in. Back then we didn't have any access to that, so they were kind of hinting. So the people at the label were like, it might be number one, you never know, one of those kind of ones. So I had an inkling that maybe it was going to be number one, but then in my mind it was against Rihanna, so there's no way. So I just remember being on that chart show. I think we filmed the content, so it should be somewhere on YouTube. And then we get down to 2, 3, and then 3, 2, number 2 is Rihanna, Rude Boy. So immediately I know he plays it, and I'm like, number one single in the country. Life has changed. How
did it feel like that in your head? Like, my life has changed forever.
I was like, this is the biggest song in the country. Like, are you being serious? Like, mental. And so, like you said, before it even gone to number one, it was already sort of an anthem anyway. People are playing it everywhere. So that just kind of consolidated what the record was. And I think it just changed the landscape of like Black British music, like moving forward.
Because you had your after party in
Tribe called...
It's just behind Carnaby Street.
Yeah, that was Reggie Yates' night.
Because that club was quite, it's like next to, I think it might be like Studio Valbon or one of those clubs. And I remember being in there and I was like, oh, right, I'm in this place. That for me at that time, this was a big deal.
Big deal, yeah, of course.
And you had just got number one. And I remember everyone had you in the air like this.
Yeah.
And I remember just sitting back and I was just like, I just felt part of it, even though I was like, it was like a last minute plus one.
Yeah.
I'd never gone to anything. But it was so nice to just see everyone there, it was very intimate as well. It wasn't like a big thing, if I can remember. But just being in the back and just being like, oh, right, this is a moment for this man, bro.
Huge moment.
It's nice. It was so nice to see in a way that just felt so wholesome. And then after that, what it transcended into was insane. Like when I think of, obviously, you win a Brit Award in 2011. Then you bring out your first album, Discovery, as well.
Colossal, million records sold, baby.
How was that time for you? Did it feel like a bit of a blur?
Yeah.
Because it's almost like that moment where everything you touch turns to gold.
Exactly.
And, like when a record goes from... It was something that, like, I don't think that I had ever really witnessed, of seeing, you got this track and everyone's still playing it, but then, you follow it up with like, was it Frisky?
Frisky, yeah.
Yeah. You follow up with Frisky, and then it just felt like everything you was touching was turning to gold.
Yeah.
How do you kind of remember that bubble of that period?
Yeah.
Are there any times where it feels like a blur and you have to look back at pictures and say, oh, rough, I don't remember that day?
Yeah, so definitely there's so much of it that like it was a blur. And so thank God I was documenting all the everything that was happening content-wise, because sometimes I do have to look back at certain things and I'm just like, like, that's me. And I was doing that and I was next to this person and this person and this person. But going back to the day when we did the party, I feel like it was a good moment for me, but I feel like it was a good moment for like just Black British people in the country. I think that's why when you're saying they were lifting me up like that, I remember there was loads of people there. Like Tinie was there. There was a few people. And to me, it was like a celebration for everyone. Do you know what I mean? Because it wasn't the first number one that had happened from a Black British artist in the UK. I think Tinie had already had a number one. I think think maybe even Chip had a number one with Oopsie Daisy.
Yeah, maybe I think Dizzy as well.
Dizzy had a number one, so it wasn't the first,
Mm-hmm.
but I think because of the sort of record it was like us kind of doing things our own way. I know Pass Out now is 15 years old, it's basically a teenager, and so now people will see that as a commercial record, because obviously I go to a karaoke bar and you can select Pass Out. Do you get what I mean? So it's now become a very commercial record, but at the time it was anything but that.
Yeah, man.
So I remember it almost feeling like a celebration for everyone, almost like a wiping of the brow, like wow, okay, we've kind of made our own thing.
Yeah,
it's two black brothers on the track, a black man that made the beat as well. Do you get what I mean? Another black man that's the manager that added the drum and bass bit on the end. This is like a black record, and it's number one, and there's no compromise in the record.
Yeah, man.
So that was a big deal. And then, like I say to you, yeah, there was definitely bits of it that felt like a blur, but in my defense, I was in like a fight or flight mode, like, because I'd seen other people prior. Like I said, I wasn't the first person that had a number one, so I'd seen people prior get kind of drunk off of the success, enjoy the success, start thinking that they were Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or whoever, and then before you know it, they're kind of back where they were.
Yeah, man.
So as much as I was in the air, I reckon, I can't go back to how I was thinking that day, but I remember just thinking, oh damn, like, what problem have I found myself in now? Because I have to top this again. I can't become that. It was like Wifey, but like times 10. Okay, now this is actually real. This is not just number one in the Channel U charts. This is number one in the official UK charts. I can't be that guy that has a one-hit wonder, because the same people, again, sorry to say this, but the same people that are lifting me in the air, in 5 years, I walk past them and I'll hear someone say in the car, that's that one-hit wonder. You remember you had the Pass Out record. So I remember
you really did follow it up though.
Yeah, so I was like, do you know what? Fight or flight. Okay, cool. You've got what you'd always dreamt about. Now is not the time to stop. This is actually when you start. And so I remember, bro, constant late night studio. I was trying to do everything. Bro, the way I was getting like cold sores, grey hairs. I think I even probably got my first grey hair at like 22. I remember being in the airport, I remember being in the airport, and I went and I checked in the mirror and I looked at my head and I saw one grey hair. And bro, I just came out of the toilet and I just started shouting at Dumi. I don't know why. I was like, bruv, Dumi, what's going on? Bruv, am I gonna die? Like, what is this? This is too much. Like, huh? I'm 22. That's why in Earthquake I say, oh, grey hairs and a little bit of weight loss. I predict riots. I predict because that's what was really happening. So I was in fight or flight mode, and I was just like, do you know what, brother? There's no stopping now. It doesn't matter whether you're in Paris today, Stockholm tomorrow. Work, and keep recording your rhythm. So even a record like Written in the Stars, which ended up being one of the biggest songs I've ever made, ended up charting like number 11 in the Billboard chart. Was my first.
Your album went double platinum as well, though.
Triple platinum.
Triple platinum. That's
bro.
insane, man.
Because
there's single success, but album success is.
Yeah, that's what puts you in the big leagues. Yeah, of course, bro.
Yeah,
one of the biggest selling albums of all time from an artist like myself in the UK. Do you know what I mean? So I just remember being like, this is, and then also I remember just giving all the glory to God, like immediately removing my ego from the whole equation. And again, I think that's what's attributed to me being here today. There's no way in hell that a young guy from Peckham who'd moved to Plumstead has achieved this solely. It's down to myself, it's down to the team, it's down to the artists I've worked with, and ultimately I'm giving all of this glory to God, because I can't explain this. Like, I don't know how to make sense of this. And so if God has blessed me, I'm going to just keep trying to be the best version of myself I can be, keep working hard, and hopefully I'll get more blessings. Yeah. And that's what happened.
So when some of your songs though, like, you know when a song is successful because a song like Written in the Stars is like the soundtrack to like Sky Sports.
Yeah,
and
ridiculous,
stuff like
bro.
This and
ridiculous.
like WrestleMania.
And,
like
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, how much of your time do you look back at things like that? Because, you know, that's when a song is like really embedded, like in culture, almost forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. To be honest with you, I think even now, like, for example, it might be my birthday or something will happen, like, you know, maybe 2 years ago or whatever, I released a song, well, I featured on a song called How You Samba, and it was some Dutch guys that made it, ended up going #1 in Europe. And I remember everyone being like, bruv, another #1. And in my head, I was just like, okay. And then people are like, well done. And I'm just like, thanks. If you ask anybody that knows me, as in like sees me on a regular basis, they will probably tell you that I'm the worst at receiving compliments. I'm the worst at receiving like the pat on the back or the praise, or something just happens to me and I'm like, I just get like embarrassed. I get shy. And I just remember going back to that time, your thing's on WrestleMania. Bruv, every Sunday I'm hearing your thing, Premier League, rare. This is a madness. In my head, I'm just like, yeah, thanks. Cool. Just thinking about the next thing, bro. Because, again, like I said, where we've come from is not the same. Like, it's not the same. You could be, and maybe this is something that sticks with you, because I've even heard, you know, some of our white working class counterparts say the same thing. You know, when you've come from the ends, or you've come from, you know, like the struggle, you're always scared that you're going to go back there. So regardless of whatever moment was happening to me, I didn't care about the money. All I cared about was success, and that I continued to have success. It was like nothing. But now when I look back on it, I'm like, rah, like what? WrestleMania, Super Bowl. It's like now I'm finally in a mindset and in a place mentally, physically, spiritually, where I can internalize all of these things and appreciate how amazing those opportunities were. And I think that that's what's fueling me moving forward, because I'm like, I've been very blessed, and I've been able to achieve things that were beyond my wildest dreams, and that most people to this day, even if they're way bigger artists than me, have still not been able to achieve. So obviously God is with you, and you obviously are a talented person. You know, sometimes you have to look at yourself in the mirror and remind yourself that you're obviously a talented person. Keep going, bro. How many monthly listeners have you got on Spotify? You're just sitting in your house or sitting in your studio watching other amazing artists and emerging artists coming through and getting their big record or doing whatever they're doing. You need to get back involved and do your thing. I think me taking that time out to reflect, have kids, look at life, start doing normal stuff like the school run and all that kind of stuff. And
that's where you are now in your middle.
That's where
right?
I'm at now. Yeah. I think it's definitely helped me to, like, it's given me the fuel to kind of continue to keep going.
Because in your middle now, like becoming a dad and, a family man and doing the school run, where you have a very successful music career, but then you also have kind of ventured into television and stuff as well. And I feel like you've always been a bit of a serial entrepreneur as well. Like, whether it's a collaboration with Smart Car, that is insane.
Bruv, we made the sickest Smart Car, bro.
Bruv, I remember when I went to the event, it was cold. cold. I was going to buy a Smart Car a couple years ago, and I was trying to find that Smart Car.
Brother, come on, man.
Bruv, like, do you still have one?
No, I got rid of it.
Really?
Yeah. I know it's sentimental, but... Yeah, I got rid of it.
You still feel like you drove it and stuff?
Yeah, drove it, enjoyed it, had a great time. I remember, bro, at the time I was living in Hackney.
Okay.
So not of all, because obviously Hackney is an incredible place, incredible area, but I had the opportunity at that time to be living anywhere. I could have been living in LA. Yeah. But I found this house, Alexander McQueen's house. Yeah, man. Beautiful.
And it still had like the old taxidermy stuff as well,
Old taxidermy in there. So I was like, I'm copping this house, but it's not gated. It's just front line on the street, opposite the park. Anyone can run up in here at any point.
Yeah.
What can I do to sort of like, juxtapose it a little bit? And so the Smart Car was the juxtaposition.
Okay.
No time for no G-Wagon at the time, no time for no Rolls Royce, no time for anything. Have your Smart Car, get on with your life and just live in peace.
Yeah, man.
So that's the time. So now it's a bit bittersweet that I got rid of the car, but now when I think about that car, I just remember good times, bro.
Yeah, man.
Do you get what I mean?
But that's a move, man.
Yeah.
When it comes to those collabs, but also like, am I right in thinking that, the Nike Air Mags, do you have the first release pair, don't you?
First release pair.
You got them.
Signed by Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
everything.
The first ever pair released.
Yeah, it's in my toilet in my house.
Really?
Yeah.
What, in a case?
In a case. Obviously.
Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking
in the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when I got it, they give you this nice like box. You know,
how big is your toilet?
Massive.
Really?
Yeah. The one on the ground floor is massive. It's bigger than this room, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
That must be a flex when people go to the,
yeah, they're like,
go to the bar.
But it's got artwork in there. It's like
it?
Crazy, bro. Yeah.
That's cold. I've got my bachelor's certificate in my downstairs toilet.
Nice.
That's my one flex where.
Yeah, you have to put something in the toilet.
Yeah,
bro.
when builders come in and that, because I never do it in my name, innit?
Yeah.
So they come in and then they go, oh, excuse me, you Mo Gilligan?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man.
I am, you know.
I've seen your certificate in there, man. But I mean, like, some of those moves, you know, collaborations with Nike and, you know, your entrepreneurial stuff is sensational, man. Like, and again, like, you have these, like, where you are now in the middle of your career, where you've had a successful career, you know, being part of the British Fashion Council. I didn't even know what that
Caroline,
was.
Yeah.
Like, that is, like, a lot of us didn't even know what that even was back then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you kind of move into television as well.
Yeah.
You know, and you're fronting TV shows as well. And I feel like it's really testament to what you are as an artist, of always wanting more but leveling up in a way that was like really aspiring, but also to show like people within your field as musicians is like there's so much more than being in the studio. We can be on the screen and host a television show about properties.
Of course.
How are you enjoying this part in the middle of your career now?
Do you know, I'm absolutely loving it. And one bit of advice I'd give to emerging artists, or even anyone that's an artist that's doing their thing now, or anyone that's in any form of entertainment, one of my biggest secrets, bro, is I just said yes to everything, brother. Do you get what I mean? Especially at the early stage of my career, just say yes. Like, as long as you're not, as long as it's not compromising your integrity as a human being, say yes, because you just never know. Like, and I've come across too many artists and creatives that, and I fall into this sometimes as well, that become creatures of habit. So once you've had success as a musician, your routine is pretty much, you know, studio. Maybe you might do a bit of gym. Then you see your friends, you see your family, but that's your kind of daily life. I've met a lot of artists, and like I said, I fall into this sometimes, where you don't even want to leave that. You don't want to break out of that. Go to Mercedes to work with who? Like, recently I designed a pram. I had kids.
Yes, yeah. The black and gold, right?
Black and a bit of was it I put rose gold?
Was it green?
Yeah, so black and green.
That was the seat carrier
I put
thing.
either rose gold or brushed aluminium on the
okay.
the spokes
yes,
on the wheel.
Yeah. I see that.
Did that with Silver Cross. Big up Silver Cross, one of the oldest nursery makers in the world. They made like prams for the Queen Victoria and all that stuff back in the day. And I remember being a dad, and I was like, how do I celebrate being a dad? Yeah. And so we designed this pram. It took us 2 years. Then they ended up putting it in Harrods. It did really well. And I remember loads of people messaging me being like, a pram? Brother, this is random. Like,
yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, you don't even understand, one, the network that I'm building. Yeah. You don't understand, bro. The amount of people
I feel like people said that before when you was doing the fashion stuff.
Exactly.
They questioned it.
Exactly. And now I've started to like that. Like, when people don't understand, that's when I get my thrill. Like, you wait and see. But the network that I've built through all these various collaborations, from Nike to Mercedes to Silver Cross, bro, I can pick up anyone in pretty much, I can pick up the phone and call anyone in pretty much any industry and be like, yo, it's T. I want to do that. So I think for me, venturing into all of these things again was, okay, I have this talent. Imagine what it could be like if I was across all these other things. I have other passions, the TV. I'm very much into property. I've built a lovely property portfolio. Let me talk about that. Let me flex. Might not be to the same audience, but if I start rapping about my houses in music, I don't think that's going to sit well. So here's another platform to talk about it. Art. Got an amazing art collection. My missus as well, she's an artist. She also has an incredible collection. I understand art. Let's talk about art. Do you get what I mean? And then whoever's seeing it, because it's not everything is for everyone. Even my music, no one's forcing you to like it or to listen to it. The people that do, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. But I guess I got to a point in my mind where I was like, you're a creator, so you just must create. You have to kind of do what you're doing. And then also there was a part of it that's like, you need to do this, and even if you don't get the best reaction, at least that 16-year-old you that's looking at you thinking, rah, T, because everything you've said to me, bro, I wasn't aware that you were there and you were seeing things from that perspective, or that when you was at the Sunday show, you were playing the records. I wasn't aware of any of that. So I'm always thinking about the next guy who's going to be the next version of Mo Gilligan, the next version of Tinie Tempah. Do all the things that are in your mind, get all the ideas out so that they can see it. And then whether they want to say, okay, cool, I really rate the smart car, but I hated the pram.
Yeah, man.
But I liked Pass Out, but I didn't like Written in the Stars. You refine it and then you fly big greater than us. Because again, one of my main motivations is to empower people that look like me, provide resources in any way that I can, and obviously encourage other people who have become fortunate to do the same. Provide infrastructure and to prepare them, i.e., which is why I'm talking about contracts and agreements and stuff like that, because there needs to be a next Mo Gilligan, bro. Do you get what I mean? When you get to a certain stage, just like Kevin Hart, there needs to be a new guy that's coming through that looks like you, that studied you, that you can put your hand on. Do you know what I mean? The same way Dave Chappelle will come to Kevin Hart and put his hand on him, or
hand over the bluept.
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We need that for our economy, for our world. Like we need to keep doing that. So, stepping into all of those spaces is very authentic. I always do. I say yes to everything, but it has to be something that I'm passionate about, and it can't affect my integrity as a person. I can't go to bed at night thinking, "Rah, I just did that for a check." Like that's mad. Like I'm gonna regret that.
Yeah, man. Your end, when you think of, you know, the latter part of your life and how you want to start shaping it, you know, you've done so much in a short space of time. As much as there's the Brits and the Mobos, like Ivor Novellos are just like, not everyone gets them.
No, I hear that. I hear that. That's a big boy one.
Not everyone gets those ones, man.
Yeah.
So like, and then you step into television and, you know, having your own your own record label. What does the next chapter look like?
Again, I've ticked off a lot of stuff, even just settling down and having kids. That was always a very important thing. I'm very private on social media, but I think people are aware of kind of where I'm at in my life, or the people that are interested are aware of where I'm at in my life. And I also feel like that was an important thing to show people from where I'd come from. Do you get what I mean? Because I could be running around doing God knows what. Do you get what I mean? But for my stability, for my mindset, for something to even work harder for, I felt like that was a very important thing in my life. So doing that, now I'm in a place where I'm looking at things like economically, and I'm looking at our economy post-COVID, and I'm thinking about the music industry specifically, and I'm seeing that like loads of nightclubs and music venues, we're losing them. So we're losing like 3 a month, which is insane. And they're saying that by 2029 we're not going to have any music venues, or hardly any in the UK. And for me, it kind of reminds me of when we were losing our youth clubs, right? And I'm just like, okay, cool. This is a space where young people could congregate regardless of their race, their sex, do you know what I mean, their sexual orientation, and they could just be together as a community, sort of like what we were talking about in Peckham that has kind of been lost. And so I was like, if this happens for, you know, we're already, you know, streaming wise, people are already unhappy about, you know, what they're getting remunerated versus a stream. We've all seen the Snoop Dogg thing. You know, I got 1 billion streams. Why? And I got like at least $1 million. Like, do you get what I mean? It's a crazy time, and I feel like I felt compelled to kind of like address it in some way. You're
talking about music, so, and the people have been asking. I see the comments,
bro,
on your socials. So is there new music to come now? Because you're saying that, you know, you're gonna. Essentially, it sounds like you're saying you're going to bring the nightclub scene back. And you're working with a lot of genres and stuff. So when can the people expect new music from Tinie Tempah?
Got a new track called Eat It Up, and it's with a producer called Skepsis. What a G. Killing it in the whole drum and bass scene. And yeah, basically like it's a sum of experiences from all of the nightlife that I've ever experienced, and kind of like just highlighting how amazing it is. Like, people need to remember that, like, you know, even talking to some friends who are on this dating app thing, like, yeah, man, I met this thing on the dating app, man, swipe right, and then I linked it and it was rare. Like, Bruv, just go to a club, bruv. Like, what are you talking about? Just go to a club and just be in the mix of people and feel the energy and experience all the nuances. Like, sometimes I'll see content, how to talk to a girl, how to talk to a guy, and I'm just thinking, rah, like, is this where we're at in our society? Do you get what I mean? Whereas the nightclub, you had all your experiences. That's when you first realised, oh damn, I got to put deodorant on because I've been here all night and now man's beefing, bro.
Listen, when you go in those toilets,
bro, everyone's had that experience.
£2 can go a long way,
It can go a long way. Or
man.
like, this is how to chat to this thing and even amongst the noise, or I'm with my friends and they just played our biggest song and this is a memory and let's all take the pictures, and now you look back at it, everyone's looking suave and da-da-da-da. So Eat It Up is basically a sum of experiences, and it's also just me saying, alongside Skepsis also, like, we have the biggest sound, bro. When we drop our thing, the sound is big, the sound is undeniable. Like, you know, like a sound system. Like, when we plug our thing in, it's a wrap. It's game over for everyone else. So that's what Eat It Up is. And there's so much more to come from where that came from. I've said to myself, now that I'm releasing music, I've taken a long enough break, done the kids, changed all the nappies that I need to change, done all the bottle feeds. Like, when I step back into this music space, the same Vim that you were talking about, like, then you did this, then you did that, bro, people are gonna see a different beast, bro. Like, I'm not stopping, bro. I'm not stopping. So
new album, is that on the
potentially
horizon?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working, I've got more than enough records for a new album, but if the people want it, they'll definitely get it. But yeah, my first single in a very, very long time, Eat It Up, is out now. So go eat it up, go and enjoy it, man.
Oh, Tinie, man, this has been so overdue, man. I've been trying to get you on this pod for ages.
But I'm happy I'm here, man.
Honestly, your journey is so inspiring in so many ways. I think you've really given a voice to a lot of us in the UK that you done moves that none of us had seen, and you made things possible that now is very, very normal. You know, seeing you at, you know, in your 20s go to Wimbledon, you know, in a double-breasted suit, just felt like, oh, like, I'd only ever see maybe like a Hollywood star go there. When now I'd see everyone go there to Wimbledon. Do you know what I mean? First time I went there, I seen you there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I have to say the same thing to you as well, bro. Like, what you've done, you're a trailblazer as well. And I know I appreciate all the props and the flowers, but similar to you, bro, what you've done, you stepped into an arena and a space that was virtually kind of untapped. There's loads of people that, you know, growing up, you thought, they have the potential to be able to do that. But as a Southeast Londoner, taking our kind of, and I if anything I'm saying is wrong, please correct me, but like, taking our archetype of like what a black man from Southeast London is, their perspective, the way they see things, the way that they think, the way that they talk, bro, you've brought that to a global audience. Like, bro, that's phenomenal. Do you get what I mean? I had to do that with music, with sound, like beats. Okay, I don't really understand what he's saying, man, but like, this beat's fire. Like, that's my journey, bro. Your journey is, I've used my words, silence, pure silence. I'm talking in my Southeast London way, talking about all my experiences I've had in Southeast London or London, and the world is receiving it in a huge way. And I remember I came to see one of your O2s. I think you've done like 20 O2s or something by now.
I think it might be the first one you come to.
Did I come to the first one?
I think
so. Because I came to your very first show, but I don't know which O2
you came to the one at Clapham Grand. I remember that one.
Yeah.
And then I think you might have come to the first one during lockdown.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I remember you came to that one. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I remember being there and just being like, brother, what this guy's done. There's a whole arena. It's filled out. Most people like look like me in this arena, and you're just talking the talks, like, not just, but you're talking the talks. You're saying all the stuff that we relate to, all the stuff that we understand. Bro, that is phenomenal. And then I'll even go as far as to say your content, you've definitely blazed the trail. Now, for me on my algorithm, it's normal to see another iteration of a Moda comedian. Do you get what I mean? I was going through doing this thing today, and then it's got a funny punchline at the end or whatever. I think if you never stepped into the space that you did confidently with Vim, I wouldn't be seeing as much as that, as I do now. So, bro, flowers to you, bro.
Oh, flowers upon flowers, Tinie, honestly, man. Bro. I have to thank you for, you booked me for, at that time, my biggest show ever, which was at Ushuaia.
Yeah, thank you.
In London.
You're the only...
Me and Michael Dapper.
I shouldn't say that. But thank you for saying thanks.
Yeah, bro. I have to thank you for that. I had the time of my life. So, but honestly, it's been a pleasure, Tinie.
Every time, brother.
And this has been your beginning, middle, and end. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, bro.
Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Now, a lot goes into making each episode. I know you hear my voice, but there's a team behind the scenes who help make it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd really, really appreciate if you could show the love to them by giving us 5 stars. And if you also have the time, please leave us a review. It's always appreciated, and we love reading the comments. And of course, we want to keep making it better. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Peace.